here to discuss is Travis Katz, CEO of BrightDrop. Travis, great to have you here with us today, and thanks for taking the time. Can you tell us more about BrightDrop's EV lineup and the partnerships that are allowing the company to get these vehicles on the road?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brad. So we're super excited to share what we're doing. So BrightDrop as a company is set up to really focus on solving the problems that are being caused by the explosive growth of e-commerce. So we all love buying things online, but the reality is to deliver these things, what we're seeing is we're adding more and more vehicles to cities, and that's not only creating congestion in our streets, but it's adding a lot of carbon emissions to the atmosphere and ultimately leading to the challenges we're seeing with climate change. So we're really setting out, we have a portfolio of products. These include electric delivery vans, but also electrified containers and software that are really focused on decarbonizing this last mile of delivery while creating real efficiencies for the companies that are powering e-commerce.
So what kind of customer is the EV410 vehicle made for, and how is this model going to help expand the business into new markets as well?
Yeah, so our first van that we announced back in January with EV600 is a larger vehicle. It's got 600 cubic feet. We announced FedEx as our first customer. It's really perfect for parcel delivery. The 410, which we announced this week, it's a shorter van and it has about 400 cubic feet, which is still pretty big. So it's a medium-sized van. But it's really targeting these more frequent deliveries. So think about online grocery delivery, for example, or service vehicles in fleets. And we were really excited to announce that Verizon, which is one of the largest fleet operators in the country, is going to be our first customer for the 410.
Wow. And so the EV600, it took about 20 months to produce, fastest ever timeline for GM. Is bringing vehicles to the market faster the only challenge that you see in the commercial EV industry as of right now?
No, well, so getting vehicles to market fast is really important. Obviously, July was the hottest month ever recorded on the planet. The challenges of climate change are real and urgent. So we do need to move quickly to get these solutions to market. But there's a lot of challenges that companies are facing. The other big one, obviously, for fleet customers is charging infrastructure and how do they get their depots electrified. The great news about last mile delivery, it's really the perfect use case for electrification. Most of these vehicles have a sort of known range and they take the same routes every day. They charge overnight in the depot. And so it's probably going to be one of the first industries to electrify, and we're happy to be there at the forefront as this transition happens.
What is the per charge range?
So the range on our vehicles, we've got a 250 mile range that we've announced at the average for both the 410 and the 600. This is, I believe, the longest range of any of the companies in the space.
Wow. So where do you see the future of the automotive industry and commercial electric vehicles as well, even as within that electric vehicle landscape, you have more of the overlay in some of those vehicle experiences and efficiencies of the autonomous measure as well. Do you see us getting to a point where there is an autonomous aspect, especially given some of the delivery routes, especially if they are regular and cadenced, if you will, on a daily basis?
Yes, I think so. So I think electrification is going to be the first wave, and I think autonomy is going to be coming on shortly after that. You know, we've been hiring top tier tech talent, guys who built sidewalk delivery robots, people who built autonomous vehicles for other companies. Our sister company, Cruise, is right now seen as really the leader in autonomous driving. So we really believe that autonomy is coming to delivery. It's not straightforward. You have to solve a lot of problems, obviously, with autonomy. So I don't expect it's going to be next year or the year after, but we're really looking forward to a future where first some segments and then potentially all of delivery could be autonomous.
What type of cost efficiencies have you seen so far in producing the BrightDrop vehicle line and the 410 or the 600 versus what was previously on the market?
Well, what's excited and why we think this industry is going to electrify now, we've finally crossed the tipping point where it is cheaper to own and operate an electric vehicle than a commercial vehicle. This is true also for consumer vehicles, although consumers don't normally think about the total cost of ownership. They mostly look at the upfront sticker price, and that's often a little bit higher than a gas car. what we're seeing, fleet customers really look at how much does it cost me per mile? How much does this cost me for the life of the vehicle? What we've seen for our vehicles, our BrightDrop vehicles, the average fleet customer will save $7,000 per vehicle per year when they deploy a BrightDrop EV600 or an EV410 versus a traditional diesel. So the savings are really real. And then beyond the vehicle, with our electrified containers, we piloted these electrified containers. So think about essentially like a big box with electric propulsion and wheels that saves a driver from going back and forth 5 times to the van to do a single apartment building. We piloted these with FedEx, and they were able to deliver 25% more packages per day using the e-pallet than without it. So there's real efficiencies here in electrifying this last mile. And that's why we're so excited about this business opportunity. It's not just about making the world a better place, which it is, but it's also going to make business sense for customers that are really powering e-commerce.
Absolutely. Travis Katz, CEO of BrightDrop, joining us here today. Really exciting stuff there, Travis, and can't wait to see this continue to develop and even more uptick as the customers start to roll in some of those orders with BrightDrop as well. Travis, appreciate the time this morning.